So that's the basic idea behind ports. Let's see how they work. I'm starting here with a RedEye Pro that's unconfigured except for basic networking. And as in the past, I'm going to start by adding a device. Notice that below the device type row, we have a new port, a place where I can select the port to which this device connects. And these are the ports that are available to me by default on RedEye Pro. RedEye Pro comes with 8 discrete infrared ports, 4 contact relay ports, and 2 RS-232 serial ports. In addition, any of the 8 infrared ports can be configured to work as contact sensors. As we can see here, all 8 of these ports are currently in the default configuration, which is infrared out. I'm going to attach this Blu-ray disc player to infrared port 2, which is labeled I2 on the back of my RedEye Pro. And other than selecting the port, the process of adding the Blu-ray player is the same as we reviewed in our first training session. So we'll skip right there. And once we've added the Blu-ray player, we land on its device setup page. Notice that again we have a new section here for the port. It's right down here under the details. The first row shows us the disc player's port assignment. If we want to move the device to a different port, we simply tap on this row. Up comes a list of ports of the same type. Tap on any other port to select it, and then tap Save. Don't forget also to change the physical connection to the device when you do that. Next, let's take a look at port settings, which is the next row under port. Settings will vary depending on the port type. This is what we have for infrared ports. At the top there is a mode, which switches this port between infrared output and sensor input. We'll discuss this further in detail when we examine sensors later. The bottom row is the output power level for the port. RedEye provides digital gain control so that you can adjust how brightly to pulse the LEDs in your emitter cables. By default, the power level is set to the lowest point, which by the way is not off, it's just the minimum that we set. Increasing the power level is primarily useful if you're splitting the output to control multiple devices. Otherwise, if you're just controlling one device out of one port, the minimum is probably fine. Increasing the power level is in fact, we recommend not turning the power level up all the way unless you find that you need it. And the reason for this is if you drive the LEDs harder, you can actually reduce their lifespan. So when you drag the power level slider, RedEye does not immediately change the output. Adjusting these values in real time over the network is just not practical. So instead you need to tap on the Save button to finalize your change, and then RedEye will make the appropriate adjustment.